And welcome to the Smash News Network, least busted name in news. Today we've got all of our videos on all platforms. So this one, it's on YouTube, it's on Bitshoot. It was originally streamed live to Twitch. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Let's get down to it. Here's the closest star in 3 wavelengths here. This is 211, 304, and 171 angstroms, part of the extreme ultraviolet spectrum. And we've got a major sunspot. It could be named 3 groups actually, this Sunspot 3011. It is quite complex and very huge. So these sunspots are underperforming. This one right here, this one right here, and this one right here. The likelihood of major flares is very high. We're expecting some coronal mass ejection strikes later today, as well as later tomorrow on Sunday, May 15th rather. Let's get down to it. There's a coronal mass ejection strike that just occurred here in the past couple hours. You're going to see a little uptick in the pressure. This is the kind of thing a glancing blow from a rather diffuse bit of gas would cause. And right here you see just a little bit of an uptick showing up there in the pressure. We saw a minor uptick in the speed as well, so we'll get to that in a moment. We'll also talk coronal holes, magnetospheres, heliospheric current sheets, and more. So that was Earth's magnetic moment from space. Here's Earth's magnetic moment from the ground level. We show it daily on the YouTube channel. Today we're showing it on Twitch, Bitshoot, and YouTube. It's a series of specials that we're putting out. There is no exclusivity today. We're just encouraging our viewers who only view in one location to make sure you check us out on the other spots. Thanks everybody who does view our videos on all 3 locations, Bitshoot, twitch.tv/smashomash, and YouTube. Let's continue on. KP index only at 2. For you new viewers, that's a measurement of global geomagnetism. And let's look at the real-time solar wind. So the most definitive feature here is this signal right here in the plasma temperature. So we got a little hotter regime of plasma there. We also saw a shifting BZ. We saw a shift in the phi angle about midway through. We saw a little uptick here in the solar wind speed. So that looks like a minor coronal mass ejection strike mixed in with a weak coronal hole high-speed stream. Nothing too exciting there, but that is the kind of thing you could expect to see from a glancing blow. Current conditions are solar wind speed about 350 kilometers per second. Solar wind density still a bit elevated here at 14.5 protons per cubic centimeter. And we can expect additional coronal hole high-speed streams coming in the coming days. GOES magnetometer here over the past 3 days looking like that. There are some orbital adjustments to the geosynchronous near equatorial orbits of the GOES 16 and 17 marked by those arc-jet moments. Their thrusters produce plasma which can affect the magnetometer readings. That's why they show it on the data. NASA's not hiding data. The data is all there for you to view, folks. Next, the top view ecliptic plane field plot. Earth is solidly in a North Pole current sheet. We're not expecting any changes to that coming anytime soon. However, keep in mind the magnetic environment can change with basically no warning. Here's a line of sight ecliptic plane field plot. Solar magnetogram lighting up. Radio flux now up to 150 solar flux units. We're about to set another high in the radio flux for solar sunspot cycle 25. Here's the solar polar field reversal process going on. It's our line of sight coronal hole plot as we get into the realm of coronal holes. Massive number of North Pole oriented coronal hole regions there, right in the earthly zone. Here's a view of it in 193 angstroms. One of the best wavelengths to view coronal holes, and you can see some well-defined ones there up toward the North Polar region. After this, we'll move into sunspots. And we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 named groups now, and we might end up with 8 named groups, as again there are multiple sunspots around Sunspot 3011. Likelihood of major flares very, very high, more likely than not at the moment. So don't be surprised to see major flares kicking off in the next day or two. Keep in mind, folks, sunspots are more likely to produce major flares right at the limb. So with little warning, we may see major flares. Also, this group here has been underperforming in the last couple of days. You can see some umbral migration happening there. Some of those umbrae moving faster than the rotation of the sun. They're butting in line. Anyway, that's our sunspot view. That's 1700 angstroms, part of the extreme ultraviolet spectrum. And I would remind our viewers that for some reason our views went from over 2,000 a day on Bitshoot abruptly down to like 400 views a day. So we lost 80% of our views on Bitshoot without really changing the content very much. So I find that kind of strange. What about you? Let us know in the comments what you think. Again, today's non-exclusive videos are on Twitch, they're on Bitshoot, and they're on YouTube. What do you think of the pathetic censorship on the internet, the pathetic censorship of big tech, and giant corporations' inability to do their own jobs? Let us know what you think in the comments. So this video was originally streamed live to Twitch. Thanks to our Twitch followers. Cheers. We've been doing lengthy streams. We did one just yesterday that was nearly 13 hours in length, which showed that incredible prominence in the southwestern limb. It was spectacular. If you want to support the channel, become a member of the Smash team. You can join at the bronze level for free. The silver level is only $2.99 a month. The gold level is $9.99 a month, and there's a gold annual paid-up subscription as well. It's the best value. It includes some free merch, which looks a bit like this. Smashomash.com/SmashTeam. The complimentary merch makes the gold annual paid-up subscription level the best value, as it's equivalent to about 4 months for free. So there's the selection of items you can get. You can get this scoop neck girl shirt, a regular t-shirt, or a hat. The quality of the hats is very, very high. If you have a problem, if no one else can help, and if you can find the content, maybe you can hire the Smash team. Member of the Galactic Federation Special Forces, or actually, we can't tell you if we're a member of the Galactic Federation Special Forces. If we did, we would not have to kill you. But in any case, Universum Liberate. That's what I have to say to each of you. Everybody watching this video, Universum Liberate. Because if I could wave my magic wand, I'd set everybody free. That's a quote from Rush's Presto, the first Rush album that came out in, I believe, 1989, after I became a fan. I'd already listened to a bunch of the older stuff, made copies of cassettes. Yeah. Anyway, Universum Liberate. The motto of the Galactic Federation Special Forces. Look for some modeling of that coming pretty soon, as I've got an item on the way. So stoked about that. Perhaps pick up some fresh gear for your summer activities. Maybe it's a conversation starter. Has the Space Force not brought peace to the galaxy yet? Well, it might be a job for the Galactic Federation Special Forces. So drop us a line if you've picked up something. Maybe send us some photos, send us a message on Instagram or something like that. Smashomash.com has one thing to say to you. Welcome to the Neo-Renaissance. So visit our links. You can find the merch on that page, as well as links to the Smash team. Smashomash.com. Doing stuff nobody else can, or certainly does do. Getting back to space weather data here. Next thing we're looking at is the EGO's proton flux. We saw a minor proton event sparked by an M-class flare, or associated with an M-class flare, I'll say, to be more correct from the realm of a physics perspective. This was associated with an M-class flare. Again, expect major flares. We haven't seen any here. We did see an M-class flare 2 days ago, but since then, these sunspots have been underperforming, so it looks like a build-up to me. We can expect some major flares and some coronal mass ejections. There are massive filaments in between the Earth and Sun right now. Don't be surprised to see some of them hurtling your way. Once again, Sunspot 3011, Jason Voorhees' Sunspot, is quite spectacular. Make sure you tune into our bonus features segment. We'll show you close-up imagery of that and its magnetic fields. Next, a star chart. The planetary pileup continues every morning with Saturn, Mars, Jupiter, and Venus lining up. Mercury rising behind the Sun. Where were you when Deneb rose? Do you know what the most intrinsically bright object visible from our solar system is? Yeah, it's the tail of the swan. There you go. Deneb. It's not as bright as Sirius, but it's much, much farther away, and I am all too serious. It's also our celestial pole star at the other end of the precessional cycle. Next, a diagram of the solar system. Keep in mind it's not to scale. let's show you the 1 week forecast. Here's where things will be in a week. We'll still have a gibbous waning at that moment. 1 week from today, as the planets all line up on one side of the solar system, people will be scared because they listen to too much nonsense probably on YouTube. There's a lot of nonsense on YouTube. And it's promoted for some effing reason. Next, coronagraphs from Stereo A and from Lagrange 1, the Soho-Lasco C3. And we've paused it here because, well, it looks like there may be some more ejecta headed our way. You can expect that to arrive in about 3 days. Maybe 2.5 days, but some of that ejecta right there is right down the Earth line. The Earth line from Stereo A's perspective is like this. That arrow is for all you new viewers out there. And if you look at the perspective of the Soho-Lasco C3, which has the Earth behind you, so the Earth would be behind the coronagraph from this perspective, because again it is located at Lagrange point 1 in between the Earth and Sun. This coronagraph showing some of that ejecta may indeed be earthly directed. So don't be surprised to see another glancing blow minor CME strike. And that's about where we'll close out this video. Let's bring these back and play them through real quick. Also an interesting loopy prominence here coming almost out of the South Polar region. And that was part of what we streamed yesterday on Twitch. Right at the beginning of the day, right around 8 o'clock in the morning, there was a massive prominence, quite spectacular on the GO 16 SUVI. Anyway, that's where we'll close out this daily space weather video. Thanks for tuning in once again, folks. Congratulations on realizing the Smash News Network exists, and may that solar wind be at your back.